Good morning, everybody, and what a beautiful morning we have this morning here in the UK. Good morning, my name's Jenny McCormack. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire in the centre of the UK. Thank you so much for joining. If you're joining live, feel free to hop on and comment and say hi, so that I know that you're here with us. If you're watching on catch up and you have any comments or questions, please feel free to comment as the video goes along, either here or on Facebook, on YouTube, I beg your pardon, and I will get back to you if there are any questions that require any answers. So thank you so much. It is glorious today. You can hopefully hear the birds singing in the background. And yesterday, if you joined me, you will have seen these 3 cards that I made very quickly in our Facebook Live. It was a little bit hectic yesterday, but hopefully you got to see some of that. So this is from our new kits collection. And the new kits collection is quite different to our previous selection of kits in that they don't appear in a catalogue. Morning, Jeanette, Kerry and Carol, good morning. They don't appear in a catalogue because they will change on a regular basis. So the one that I used yesterday is called Notes of Cheer. And I noticed this morning that it has already sold out. So I'm really sorry to show you something that's no longer available, but this will be the nature of the kits. We might see it come back. I don't know. So the kit itself was $11.25, and it comes in a nice sturdy box, as you can see. This box actually takes A5 card. So if you want a useful storage for any card bases or your finished cards, then I recommend you keep hold of the box. And these were the 3 cards created with it. There's no stamping in this, hence the price. But you do get enough for 9 cards. And each of these sentiments that you see here is available in English, French, German and Dutch. So if you have friends that speak any of the other languages, of course you can use those for them. Morning, Monica. So I thought I'd show you some alternatives. Now the idea of the kits is really for beginners to use exactly as they come out, to do their own thing, sit and craft with friends. But I thought I would just show you a few alternatives. So if you have already bought this, some ideas for you. What I do really like are these fabulous envelopes that go with the cards. How great are they? So we've got the ones with the butterflies, we've got the blue stripe, this is Misty Moonlight, and then polished pink. So what I thought I'd do today is actually cut up the envelopes and use these as part of my card design. So these are my completed ones, so I'm going to tuck those away. I love this one. Obviously you could put your own sentiments on as well, but they are, as I said, designed for beginner crafters. So these are the colours in the kit, and I have to say those go together really well. Pear Pizzazz, Misty Moonlight and Polished Pink. Got a gorgeous selection. So I've got the cards ready. I'm not sure if I'm going to use those, but let me get the components out for you. So as I say, I'm going to cut up the envelopes. May not be all of them, I'm not quite sure. And then we've got this piece here, and we've got some bling. And then we've got, so these are just the individual components I'm getting. We have all the sentiments as well. And that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so I hope everybody is keeping well. Carol, I hope you've had a lovely weekend. I know it's Wednesday now, but we did have bank holiday here on Monday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this one here. The other thing I have done is taken one of the cards and put it through the Tasteful Textiles embossing folder. I'm not sure you can see that in this light really. So I don't know if I'm going to use this as a card or whether I'll cut this layer off. Undecided. Okay, so I'm going to take this envelope here, and I know that the printed section goes all the way down into the bottom of the envelope. So what I'm going to do is cut the edges off here and have a look and see what we've got that we can use. So this is just to cut the borders off. Oh good, Carol. I'm glad Jeanette is good too. Just gonna take that little bit off there, like so, so I can see what we've got to play with. Now obviously there's a crease here. I haven't folded this envelope over, so it's very light. So I think you could get away with a portrait version on there, and you would also get away with that as a layer as landscape. So I think I'll try and do one of each. You could also use this really pretty edge here as well. Oh good, everybody's good this morning. That's what I like to hear. Okay, so let's just I'll cut this off with the bottom border, but obviously the top border isn't going to work. So actually yes, I might make this a portrait one because you can barely see that score line. So I'm going to make this into a landscape card. So the normal size of our standard card would be around the 10 and a half. So I'm just going to measure this and see the size of it, because I know it's going to be narrower than our card, because this is based on an American size card. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is just use it as a layer. So there is a little corner where this envelope shape comes in, so I'm just going to cut this down. I'm going to cut off that top bit as well. So just a bit of experimenting this morning. No idea how it's going to come out, but I just think these are so pretty. You don't want to hide them under the envelope really. Okay, so there I've got a butterfly panel. I'm going to get rid of the white scraps there. And this is a bit big and covers up too much. That one's a bit too busy. And this one is in the wrong direction, of course. So let's have a look and see what we can do. Okay, so this is Pear Pizzazz. And I could put a white layer behind this, cut this down a little bit that direction, and then put a white layer on. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to measure this difference here. So there's an inch that way, so I want to make it an inch difference this way. So it wants to be 3 1/8. Hope I've got that right. Okay, so that should be equidistant all the way around. So I think I'm just going to use a white layer behind it, just to make that stand out. I could use coloured layer, but now I'm going to use white. So let me just grab a piece of basic white. And so I'm just going to cut this down to 10 by 14.35 to start with. Morning, Tracy. So I'm doing some alternative tracey with the card kit from yesterday. So I think that works. If I want less of a white border, I can obviously cut that down so that you see more of the green, but I think there's plenty of green on here. So in terms of designing, I'm not going to show any more green, otherwise it would be full on, in my opinion. Okay, so let's layer those up. The white layer would look good. Oh yes, it would, Kerry. It would. That would look really nice, wouldn't it? My emboss machine's in the other room. But I could nip and emboss it with this Tasteful Textures. If you hold on for 1 second. Are you happy to do that, ladies? Will I nip and do that? Sorry, it's still in the other room from preparing last week's glass in a box. There we go. There we are. Thank you. You're not being difficult at all. I love the ideas. And actually that would look lovely on there as well, wouldn't it? That lots of nice things. And in my pack actually I got an extra one of those, so that was a bargain. I hope somebody's not missing one, that's the only thing. Okay, so let's layer this up here and here. Now, I did think, because I have the Butterfly Brilliance dies, I could cut out a white butterfly from this backing in the middle and then layer it on the top. What do you think? So I'm just using the components to make other cards. Obviously, as a beginner, you would just make, you know, the cards with the elements from the kit. But I'm thinking yes, it would make a nice stencil. As with this one here, would make a lovely stencil too. So I'm thinking just to cut one butterfly from this white layer and pop it on the top. What do we reckon? I mean, obviously there's lots of things you can do, but I think that would look quite stunning. I should have brought my die cutting machine back. Okay, right, so bear with me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out of the middle. Actually, what I might do, see is whether I can get that and a smaller one out of it. Let's see. So if I put those roughly in the middle like that. Oh, thanks, Tracy. Yeah, the kits are sold out now. That's the way it goes, isn't it? And I noticed that a lot of the retiring items are selling out as well. Sadly, had a few disappointed customers this morning. Okay, so I'm just going to nip and cut these out. If I've got, I might bring my die cutting machine back to do that. So bear with me again, ladies. Play some music. I'm not allowed to play music on a Facebook Live, sadly. Bear with me. I have returned with the machine. Sorry, I hope you're chatting amongst yourselves. Oh, well done, Tracy. Okay, let's have a look. So those are my dies. And let's flick that out. So hopefully that will still fit on there perfectly. Good. And then I'm just going to flick these. It's just staying at the bits staying a little bit longer as it's already textured. And I think that's it. There's that one. And then this one here. I want to pull his antenna off. There we go. So that's from the Butterfly Brilliance set, which is in the new annual catalogue. Oh, thank you, Kerry. You're so kind. Okay, so this is going to go onto there. This is going to go onto there, and I'm going to keep those flat because this is textured and it's also got holes in it, and I'm going to put this flat as well because it won't, if I put it up on dimensionals, it's just a bit too flimsy, okay, as its envelope weight. And then I can pop either one or two. Let me have a look. So the sentiments, I have got the Pear Pizzazz sentiment I can use. Let me dig that out. You're on my mind and in my heart. I could use a contrasting one, but I quite like that effect. And I think what I might do is have these, I was only going to use one, but I think I'm going to use both, because that gives me the sort of 3 together, doesn't it? That's my rule of 3. And I do like the fact that these butterflies have got that little bit of embossing. Now I know you can't see that, but I can. Okay, let's layer this down. So that's my cutout piece. So I've got Seal Plus, oh, it's at the end. When you get to the red tape, it's right at the end. Come off. I had a feeling it was going tight. Let me just tuck that in there. Oh. Okay. Just want to fold that over so it's not, because it's very sticky, everything will stick to it. There we go. And I'm just going to trim that little bit there. So, and let's revert to wet glue then. So, and I'm going to put a little bit in between these butterflies as well, just so it's nicely flat on our card. So cutting the butterflies out has very slightly flattened some of the embossing, but not a great deal, so you still see that embossing around the edge. Okay, so I'm just going to turn that over and press it down. It was lovely to see you at the weekend, Tracy, and to meet Lisa and yourself in person after we've you know, communicated online all of this time. So Tracy is one of my lovely team members, as is Carol that we have here today. Any other team? No, I don't think so. There we go. Okay, so let's just pop those little holes out of there. And the weather was so nice, but I was worried about Lisa catching the sun, so I do hope she was okay. I mean, I caught the sun, but I'm really lucky in that I don't burn. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that centrally. Red face. Oh, bless you. As long as you're not sore, it's fine. So I did think with this layer here, it would be lovely to, you could cut out some butterflies from this layer. Wouldn't they look fabulous? Might have to do that. Okay, so let's pop these on. So I think the two and the little sentiment underneath, I think that fits nicely on there. I could see if I could find a white layer so that doesn't sort of blend into the background, but let's just attach these. So I'm just going to put glue down the center of these butterflies so that they will sit up on the card. And I do want them going over the edge a little bit, like so. Oh, excellent. Well done, Tracy. just want it going over the edge to mimic this one here. 2, like that. And then I'm just going to see if I can find either a strip of white or an existing white die cut for that one. I meant to cut out some small narrow strips. This one's too big. So that's what I was thinking, that sort of shape. That one's too small. I might just cut a little strip of card from that envelope. Oh, what's this one here? Doesn't quite fit, does it? Right, I'm going to grab a little bit of white. So what I could have done was cut a die cut from behind here as well. I'm actually not going to use the envelope, I'm just going to cut a little piece of white. I might already have something that will do the job. There we go, that will be perfect. Still see a little bit here, doesn't want to come out, got it. So this measures, let's say, just over 5 centimeters. So let's make this. I'm going to start at 6.5. I can always cut it down, but I can't make it bigger. Okay, and there's another little one there. These bottom ones are. That's it. Got it away. Cut this down a little bit more. There we go. I'm happy with that. It's just to lift it up so it doesn't disappear really against that lovely butterfly design. So I'm going to add this one with our dimensionals from the kit. Have you made up the original ones, Tracy? From this kit. Okay, so this is going to go onto here, like so. Not yet, okay. And that's just, I think I'm going to put that flat on there so that there's not too much height. And there we are. There we go. I'm really pleased with that. Another good one to send to my mum. She won't recognise that she's got the same sentiment as previously, I'm sure. It looks quite different on a different card, doesn't it? That's the thing. And then I'll just pop a white insert into this and maybe stamp a butterfly in pear pizzazz. Oh, you're welcome to case it. No trouble at all. So as you know, I did some stamping surgery on my stamps so that they're separated, and yes, I think what I'm going to do is just grab a piece of white card and stamp that for the inner and stamp that on the outside. Hi Carol, lovely to have you join us. I hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying the sunshine. I wonder how Bella's doing in this heat. So I'm going to cut this to the same size as the front layer. I should think the weather's glorious down where you are now, Carol. But I wonder if it's brought out the tourists. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp this butterfly in the corner. I suspect this stamp isn't clean, so I apologise for that now. But I'm just going to use the Pear Pizzazz to stamp that, maybe just here and here, top and bottom. So we're just using the kits, Carol, one of the new kits. I don't know if you saw yesterday's live or caught it on catch up. Just going to stamp on this scrap of paper. So I'm going to have one here, and one here. I want to do it top left, but then it would be sort of facing the wrong way, wouldn't it? So there we go. Oh, Sorghum is heaving. Bless. No, that's fine. So yesterday I did the cards from one of the new card kits, which is this one here. So you can watch that on catch up. Do you watch catch up on YouTube or on Facebook, I wonder? So this is going to go inside like that. The locals stay in. Yes. That is the thing, isn't it? That's the downside of being somewhere beautiful that everybody wants to go to. Oh, both. Okay, that's fine. So I did the retiring list as well yesterday. I'm sure you're familiar with that anyway as a demonstrator. There we go. So there's my alternative for today. And I think that's perfect timing, not to keep you going for too long. I might... Oh, thanks, Carrie. It's always useful to know where people are watching and catching up. Shall I do this as a stencil? Do you want to watch that one? Or shall I finish it there? Brighton. Yes. I suppose, yes. Brighton's a bit different though, isn't it? And this would also make a nice stencil. So let me know if you want me to do that one now, or I have got another live tomorrow, so I could do it then if you wanted to. I'll wait and see what you say. Oh yes, please, Kerry says. Okay, let's give it a go. So I've got a piece of card here. So what I'm going to do with this one is, because I don't know if you can see there's a little bit of etching shading on those butterflies, so that's designed to be the front. If I turn it over, can you see there's less etching? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the reverse side, and I'm going to find my magic tape and pop it down. On there just to keep it in place really, and then I might so what I've got to be careful of is this edge here, but I could do the stenciling and then cut that out in the same size. Let's have a look, see. There we go. I could actually mask that all off with some, with Post-it note. Let's do that. Find my large Post-it notes. There we go. That's pretty large, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is cover this right up so that my white layer is completely covered. I know this is perhaps a little bit excessive, isn't it, this Post-it note, but always better to have too much than not enough. Okay, so these are quite delicate wings, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful. Oh, it would. Oh, Tracy, I like that idea. Yep, I do like that idea. So if you did the edge. Oh, now I'm sorely tempted. Okay, no, I'm going to leave it as is for now, but you're absolutely right. It would. And I might as well use, I could cut one in half actually. That does seem a little excessive. Oh, no worries. Thank you, Jeanette. Ooh, that's a bit close, wasn't it? That's better. So I'm just bringing that right the way in. Okay, let's give it a go. Move this out of the way. So I've got some pink, and I think pink and orange, which you don't tend to put together, but why not? It'll keep Carol happy. There's a bit of orange in there. Okay, so this is polished pink, and obviously you're not going to see the colour on my yellow Post-it note. Okay, but let's give it a go. And in fact, the back of this might look quite pretty with the colours. So what I'm actually going to do is go all the way over, so that potentially I could use this background piece as well, if that makes any sense. I was thinking just to do that and then use the other side. Okay, so there's my pink. Let's come over there. This is where card making gets addictive, isn't it? Because you start off with one thing and then you sort of veer into other ideas. I'm going to make this one here orange. So this is Mango Melody. I do love our blending brushes, as I think you know. So as I said, it wasn't my intention, but I'm now going to go around the edge of here. So that my stencil frame is also coloured. Okay, so I'm just pushing this down to make sure I've got a nice contact through here, because obviously these laser cut pieces are quite delicate. So making sure I'm not pushing up against the loose piece too much, she says. There we go. So there's my mango, and what I'm going to do is bring in a little bit of this pink along the top, and then what colour shall I have that middle one? I'm thinking almost of a pale blue. Do that bit along the edge. Pink. Kerry says yellow. Okay. Get rid of that mango. Oh, yellow. That's picked up balmy blue there. Let's go. So saffron. Okay. Ah. Yes, yellow's my favourite colour too, Kerry. I could do a little bit of both. But I'll do a little bit of blue at the bottom. So a little bit of pale yellow. So this is so saffron. And I suspect I probably have some blue left on here. No, not much. Let me just grab a little bit of balmy blue. And then we'll do the reveal and see what we've got to play with. Quite like that. There we are. So I've got a busy day ahead today. I've got I'm going to see a customer of mine after this. Oh, actually, tell a lie. Going to meet up with friends for coffee. Or a cold drink, I think, today at 12. Then pop and see another friend of mine to do some crafting at 2. And then I've got a meeting to finalise details for our coffee and a card in Brackley. So it's all systems go today. Right, let's have a look and see what we have. Okay, those out of the way. Excellent. So let's take this off. So this is our magic tape that doesn't tear. Highly recommend it. That is really pretty. Really pleased with that. Came out better than I expected. We can see that okay. And then I've also got this panel here with the colours on, but you could still use the reverse if you wanted to, or you could keep this as a stencil and just keep colouring over. You could you know, just do this little bit here if you wanted to, but I do like the combination of the three. It's really sweet. There we go. Tempted to cut that out. It's just so pretty, isn't it? So as Tracy pointed out, what I could have done was put this on here. Okay, so you've got to be a little bit more careful how you fix it, but do the blending all the way around the edge, so that when you remove this, you've got a blended frame around the outside, as well as your image here and your blending here. So I think I can use that as well. I think that would really work. So I'm just wondering, funnily enough, look at those, apart from the fact they've got green in, look at those colours there. We got there by default, didn't we? I hadn't really appreciated that. Okay, so I think what I might do is I could cut this down to sit on here, or I could just make that into a card with sentiment. Decisions, decisions, girls. I could also cut that up as an outside layer, but it just seems a shame to cover it all up, doesn't it? I think what I'm going to do is actually find a frame to put round here from our contours dies. Choices, choices. So this is the scalloped contours. Oops. So that's a bit too tight. This one would work. So I think what I'm going to do is cut that out. If I bring this down, I could put a small sentiment in that corner. Because on balance, I should have moved this all up a little bit. I could do it that way and have a sentiment at the top, but I think, just going to do that. I think I can get away with that, and then just a small comment in the bottom, like a hello or something. Okay, let's pop that through the machine. Let's grab my plates, which are here. I'm just going to use a bit of tape on here. So I know it might just trim off this edge. The edge of the die is almost at the edge that you see here. So I might get away with it. I'm going to bring this right down to the bottom, like so. So I've got the maximum amount of white space here. I think that will do. That one, and I had another piece. So clear you can't actually see it. There we go. Okay, just going to cut that and then pop that onto a card. There we go. I think I do need to change my plates. Look, they're getting a bit sad, but they do a lot of work, my plates. surface pieces come out really easily with these contour dies. Let's get rid of those so they don't stick to everything else going. Let's pop these ones out. There we go. So it's just over a little bit, but I'm happy with that. Okay, and I think this needs a different background. I did think that might look quite nice behind it. But actually I think there's more orange than pink. Just have a quick look at this. Tempted. Although it just covers a lot, doesn't it? However, is in keeping. It's got this little bit of orange. This is actually pale papaya here. Let's find a small sentiment for the right hand side. And I've got, let's see, a thinking of you would work. Oh, oh yes, that's a good, I love your ideas, ladies. So Monica's suggesting I could cut out the centre. Do you mean the centre of this one with another frame die? Carol says, do you change both plates or use the top one as a bottom next? Well, it varies really. It depends on how, because I do so much die cutting, I tend to interchange them all of the time. But I have been known to label them top and bottom, and then you keep the top one more pristine, and then just change that for the bottom one when the bottom one gets you know, too scratchy. I'm just looking for other sentiments. Sorry. I'm back. Just because I think would look nice in there. Let's see if it will fit. I want something a little bit more squared off. Let's cheer you up would work. Like so. Do we think? Or thinking of you? Can't decide. That's it. Sorry for being so indecisive. Okay, and I think I'm going to stamp that. Wait for it. in Misty Moonlight. Ah, got you, didn't I, there? You were all expecting me to say early espresso, but I am going to pop it on that layer, and this Misty Moonlight matches the corner colour there. Okay, let me just test that out on my envelope scrap. So obviously the envelope I've used for this now will go in a standard sized envelope, so that I'm not losing well, I've lost an envelope, but I'm not missing an envelope, if you know what I mean. There we go. Complete with a tiny hair. There we are. Okay, and I think that will do. So lots of other things you could do with this. And we've got this frame as well. And we've still got the big butterfly. So plenty of options. Okay, so I'm just going to layer that up on dimensionals. I do like the fact that you're all with me, girls. And I'm glad I can surprise you occasionally without using early espresso. Right, just using up these small dimensionals. Not what I need to really, but let's put one in the middle. There we go. So I'm going to keep that nice and plain. So the nice thing is you could use this stencil over and over again and do, you know, literally tens of cards. And then you could turn it over and then use the other side. So all you'd have to watch for is the ink seeping through, but it's quite thick card, so it's not like it's a paper stencil. And the other thing I was just thinking, but I'm not going to do, is that this is perfect for threading ribbon through, because the ribbon can come through these slots here. So I really do recommend you try that. I don't think adding any ribbon is going to help this, but you could thread some ribbon through here, especially the pale papaya would work. But I'm actually going to keep this as is. And this decorative frame, of course, is designed to fit the American size cards, so of course it looks good on there. Okay, and this was the one that I actually put the card through Tasteful Textures to start with, so it could give it a little bit of interest. So if you open that up, you can see the texture on the background. There we go, and I think that should go in our Misty Moonlight envelope, like so. So there we go, just two extra examples from this kit. As I say, this kit is already sold out. Oh, I could add a bit of bling. But if you have purchased it, there's a few more ideas for you. Let's add a little bit of bling to both of these, and there we're done for today. So you do get plenty of bling in with this kit. So I've got 1, 2, 3 on there. Very pretty. And let's add some on here. I'm going to put them in the butterflies in the backing. 1, 2 and 3. So obviously I have used the extra dies, okay, both on this one and on this one. But if you've got the kit and you're an avid customer or a demonstrator, then you've probably got plenty of other products you can use to go with it. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today. Sorry it was a bit longer than planned, but I hope you like the finished designs. Let me grab, oh yes, just going to have a white envelope for this, and I will stamp the butterflies on the envelope as well. Okay, so thank you very much indeed. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. If you're here in the UK, if you're watching on catch up, then depending on what time you're watching, enjoy the rest of the evening. If you're joining us from America, enjoy the rest of your day, and if you're joining us from Australia, have a good evening. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all your feedback and ideas as well. If you have this set and you make some examples, do share it on my Gemini Crafts page. You're more than welcome. We always love to see other ideas from other people around the world. Thank you so much indeed. You take care now. Look after yourselves. Look after your loved ones. It's great to have you join me. Thank you. Kerry, Monica, Carol, Jeanette, Tracy. If I missed anybody out, I apologise if I have. I'm just skipping through. I think that was everybody that commented. So thank you so much. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Look after yourselves. Keep crafting. Bye.